Hello, it's day 286. We're going to talk about Corinthians chapter 9 today, and I am a little bit later than normal. Not a little bit, a lot. I let my day take a little bit of a different turn today, and I try to really follow the Spirit and divine guidance, and it has been an amazing morning of connection and healing and, all kinds of stuff that have gone on in my world personally this morning. And as we're talking about 2 Corinthians chapter 9, Paul is talking about cheerful giving, like giving from your overflow, giving with a happy heart, and then it will be multiplied. And it also just comes back to us. Like when we give, we receive. It is one of the laws of in the divine order of things. And when we hold on to, we constrict. I think I touched a little bit on that yesterday, probably because Paul did as well. But I titled today, Simplify to Amplify. And the sun is so bright and high in the sky. I've got to wear my shades today. But simplify to amplify, like give it away, simplify your life. The more you give, the more it boomerangs and comes back to you. You amplify when you simplify. And it works in like all areas of life, finances, relationships, business, fitness. When we can really focus and harness our energy versus letting it scatter, and not just focus our energy, but our resources, like focus and lasering in, which requires simplification, you amplify. It's just the coolest principle at work. And it's one of those that's hard to trust. And, what we can be really skeptical about, and we resist because it's like, but if I do only this, then I'm going to miss out on this and this and this. We get FOMO. Instead, we need to flip it and get JOMO about that. And it's interesting when you start to live this way and trying it out in one area, and then you're like, ooh, that worked. And then you go try it over here. And before you know it, you're doing it in all areas of your life, and you are just becoming like a laser beam. And then all of a sudden, like you give up things, and you thought you were giving up one thing that you just couldn't let go of. Like, I don't know, it's going to be, and your brain and your ego is like, all this bad stuff is going to happen. It's not going to be fun anymore. People aren't going to like this, my relationship, like all that chatter in our brain starts, happening. Our ego is like, no, fear, no, bad. And then we know our internal higher self knowing says, yes, I think we need to do this. And you do it. And then you're like, wow, I gave up one thing and I got all this in return. And you get to experience this law in action. But your brain is still like, I don't know, that was just that one thing. But then you're like, well, what if we went and did it over here and we start doing it in our whole lives? This is kind of where I am now. I've done it in enough area of my life that I'm like, oh, this is that principle at work. And it works. Imagine that. Exactly what Paul is talking about here. Give it away. Give it away. I can't help but think. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. And I can't help but think of the Red Hot Chili Peppers every time I say that. God's going to be my theme song for the day. But give it away and you will get it back. God multiplies. I had a friend that brought the scripture or the example of Jesus taking the loaves and the fishes and multiplying it. Like that's that principle at work. Like trust. Give it away, bring what you've got focused to God, give it away cheerfully, gladly, and watch what God will do with it. Just watch. He asks us to test him on this. And he's not talking just about money there. Money is just one of those things because it's a concrete resource that we actually use to trade for other resources, our time, housing, food. So that's one thing that, he does kind of ask us, literally to do so that we will get it. Literally get it through getting it. We have to give it up to get. And that's like, again, it's God's ways are not our ways. They're opposite of our ways. And open up your hands, open up your heart, whatever's blocking it. Like, stop listening to your ego and your survival self. It's lying to you. It is the enemy. And it's sneaky because it's inside your own head and it seems logical and rational. Kind of like a serpent, like it's just sneaky. And it slides in there and makes you think that it's your thoughts. It's not your true self. That's your false self trying to protect itself. And most of us have gotten our hearts broken somewhere along the way. And we learned that, we had to protect ourselves. But that's where we've got to let it go and give it to God and trust his ways. And yesterday I talked about you've got to be it to learn it. There's no other way to get it. Like, we can see other people, and until we start walking it out ourselves, you're not going to get it because your brain will look at other people and go, well, that's nice for them. They're special. And they didn't have this or that. Your brain will tell you all kinds of stories about why it won't work for you. And that everybody else out there is special, or maybe even you're special because you had so much hardship. And either way, you're thinking there's a specialness. And then when you start walking this out and you realize, there's nothing special about anybody. You just have to do it. You just have to do it. As Nike says, just do it. God says it too. Be it. Trust me. Have faith. And just test me. Let me show you. Let me show you. Jesus says, I am the way. Because he showed us the way. Because he was the way. He was being the way. And role modeling for us. And so it's an internal psychological battle. I don't even like using the term battle, but it's even a surrendering, maybe, that you surrender to the fact that it's not a battle. It doesn't need to be. You just need to let the ego yell, and you, the real you, stand up, show up, and simplify by giving away, and watch it just reverberate back. Watch your life amplify, and what God will do with your life and your gifts and your talents. When you simplify and stop trying to be all things to all people, you just be what God wanted you to be. You grow in your little pot of your little patch of soil. Nurture yourself, take care of yourself, nurture your gifts, let your gifts bloom. And then you will be a tree of life that other people can come and take fruit off of. And then they will grow into what they're supposed to be. And then before you know it, it's a Garden of Eden, with all of us bearing fruit, our own fruits, taking care of our own lives. And by doing that, we naturally, the outflowing of it is that we're helping feed other people. We're taking care of other people. We're giving. We're not holding on to it. Have you ever, like especially when fruits mature, like the plant readily lets go of it. It's like, please take it from me. We don't want it to stay on the vine and rot. That's what happens when we hold on to it. It'll stay and rot. Ooh, that was a pretty good analogy. I didn't know that was going to come out. Anyway. But that's what you do when you hold on to and you don't share and you don't give it away. It turns in on you and becomes toxic, rotten, moldy. Ugh. So give it away. Grow it and give it away. And then you will be nurtured and grown right back. That is It's the law, and there's nothing special about you. There's nothing special about me, other than we woke up to the fact that we're not special. And we're just like, okay, this is the way God set these universal laws in place of abundance. And I'm going to go over here and play in the law of abundance. If you play in the law with the laws of injustice and lack and hoarding and greed and all those other things, that is what you will get. You will reap what you sow. The law of the harvest. Maybe that's what it could have been called today. The law of the harvest. You reap what you sow. So reap love, share love, simplify, but that requires simplifying. And when you simplify, you're giving away. You're not out there trying to hoard and get it from the outside in. You're giving it away. And you're focusing all that in. Yeah, thank you. Great. I thought so too. Thanks, God. Not me. That's God. God is the one that uses all of these analogies in the word. So can't take credit, but my mind, it has become the living word for me. Like I have been reading it and ingesting it and chewing on it, like cud and, and really getting the nutrients from it. So I feel like I am, okay, this is what the living word is. I know, because I understand some of the messages. I'm a little bit stubborn and hard-headed, but I'm getting it. And I'm getting it because I'm really trying to apply it and walk it out. I by no means have it figured out. I have definitely a lot of pride and ego and all the same things everybody else does. But the more I can simplify, trust, let go, even when it's like I don't really want to let go and it feels like really weird. Like let go anyway, trust it, let it go. And then I'm learning to relax and breathe into it, that I'm still safe, I'm okay, I'm loved. And not only loved, but I feel even more loved. Anyway, I could go on and on, but that's 2 Corinthians 9, being a cheerful giver, simplify, give it away, and just watch God amplify and multiply. All right, love you. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.